One rapper was ready to handle things on site outside a courthouse. Another rapper took 12 stabs and still beat his ops. These are rappers who were ready for their ops. When Lil Loaded's brother got smoked by rival gang members, the Texas rapper wasn't about to let that slide. The loss hit him hard, and when someone dropped the location of the people responsible, he knew what he had to do. Lil Loaded had gathered his crew, and they rolled up to the spot, all of them strapped, ready for whatever was about to go down.
One rapper didn't wait for the judge to decide his fate. He was ready to press his ops right there outside the courthouse. Another one took a dozen stab wounds and still kept swinging like nothing could stop him. These are the rappers who proved they were built for war whenever their enemies tried to test them. When Lil Loaded's brother got dropped by rival gang members in Texas, the pain cut him deep. For Loaded, letting it slide wasn't an option. When someone handed him the drop,
shopping at Walmart with his baby mama and daughter when drama came looking for him. Two guys who had beef with the baby spotted him in the store and decided to approach him. What started as words quickly escalated into something much more serious. Baby wasn't about to let anything happen to his family nor himself. So, when things get heated, he takes matters
on where the killers were hiding. He pulled up with his crew. Everybody strapped, ready for smoke. Security cameras caught the whole squad rolling up, showing the world that Loaded wasn't just talking tough. He was about that action. But payback don't always heal the wound. And sometimes, being ready means staying sharp in the most unexpected places. Even the grocery store. DaBaby been living by that code since day one. The Charlotte rapper was just trying to shop at Walmart with his girl and daughter when two dudes with old beef walked up. Words got thrown, but it wasn't about to stay at words. DaBaby wasn't letting anything happen to his family. When things went left, he handled it right then and there. One of the men lay dead, and DaBaby walked away with only a misdemeanor, claiming self-defense. But that wasn't his first time proving he was ready for whatever. Even before the fame, his own crib turned into a battleground. 6 men thought they could break into his house and catch him slipping. Big mistake. DaBaby heard the noise, grabbed his strap, and stepped out ready. I heard the break-in, grabbed my piece, came out the room, and the first dude I saw, I let it off, no hesitation. The bullet dropped one of the intruders instantly, and the rest ran for their lives. That night, DaBaby showed the world he wasn't going to hide or fold. But some rappers take that mindset even further. Lil Mexico turned his front porch into a war zone when ops tried to test him at his own home. Crew of guys thought they could roll up and shake him. They had no idea what they were walking into. Mexico stormed out with an AK in his hands, locked and loaded, ready for war. The moment the intruders saw him strapped, they panicked and ran. But Mexico wasn't letting them slide. He chased after them, spraying shots as they scrambled. The ops tried firing back while retreating, turning the block into a full-on shootout. When it was over, Mexico walked away untouched. His enemies? Not so lucky. But sometimes disrespect doesn't come to your door. It pops up on your phone screen. Snap. Dog was live streaming with his crew late one night, just connecting with fans. Out of nowhere, an op pulled up off camera, talking reckless, trying to make a scene while the stream was rolling. The energy flipped instantly. The argument got heated, and before long, Snapdog and his crew saw the dude reaching for his strap. They didn't wait. They made the first move, opening fire while the stream was still live, letting viewers watch a gunfight unfold in real time. A lot of rappers talk tough, but when it's time to really show out, they fold. Black Boy Juice proved he wasn't one of them. His ops tried to test him during a live stream, thinking they'd catch him lacking. They rolled by strapped, flexing like they had the upper hand. But Juice flipped the script. Instead of panicking, he snatched one of their own guns and turned it back on them. Fans watching live couldn't believe it. 1 second, Juice looked cornered. The next, he was in control, showing he's not just rapping for clout. Not long after, another wild scene. broke out outside a club. One dude started talking slick, thinking he could disrespect the wrong crew and just walk away. Blueface wasn't having it. Earlier that night, there'd already been tension. When the guy moved toward his white truck, reaching quick like he was about to grab something, Blueface and his squad made a split-second decision. Blueface pulled his piece and lit up the vehicle before things could get any worse. It wasn't about flexing. It was survival instincts, moving fast when he felt his crew was under threat. Some beefs don't cool down. They sit and wait until the perfect chance to explode. INF Lucci had been beefing with his ops for a minute. One night, he spotted a rival on the streets and didn't waste the opportunity. Shots rang out fast, forcing the man to dive behind a parked car for cover. The whole thing happened in seconds. Lucci laying down fire while the target scrambled for his life. He made it out breathing, but the message was crystal clear. Lucci was ready to settle scores whenever the chance came. But sometimes, the music itself fuels the fire. Lil Jojo, a young rapper from Chicago, took things past rap when he aimed reckless diss tracks at Chief Keef and his crew. He wasn't just spitting bars. He was naming names, crossing lines, and putting a target on his own back. The streets were already watching, and Jojo might not have realized how serious it had gotten. One afternoon, he was just out riding bikes with friends when a car pulled up. Before anyone could react, shots rang out. Jojo didn't make it. The whispers came quick. Most believed the retaliation was connected to those same diss tracks. In the end, his lyrics made him a marked man, and the consequences came fast. When loyalty runs deep, some dudes don't think twice about risking it all for their people. That's exactly what went down with Lil Tim the night King Von and Quando Rondo crossed paths outside an Atlanta club in November 2020. Von spotted Rondo and swung first, turning the sidewalk into chaos. What Von didn't know was that Lil Tim was sitting close by, watching everything. The moment he saw his friend getting jumped, Tim jumped out the car, strapped and ready. Shots went off in seconds. Von got hit and later passed away from his injuries. Tim later said he wasn't aiming for anyone specific. He just saw his boy in trouble and reacted without hesitation. But sometimes danger finds you when you least expect it, even on the highway. The Migos learned early that success don't mean safety. While cruising down the interstate, an op recognized their car and decided to pull up alongside, opening fire. What should have been a chill ride turned into a high-speed gunfight. Instead of speeding away and hoping to survive, someone in the Migos camp returned fire right there on the road, bullets flying between moving cars. One crew member caught a shot in the leg, but they all lived to tell it. That night proved, no matter where you're at, you gotta stay on point. Even your own home ain't safe when ops want to test you. Lil Durk found that out the hard way when armed robbers tried to invade his crib. But Durk wasn't alone. His girl, India, was right there with him. Instead of panicking, both of them grabbed their Glocks and started letting off shots. Durk later said his first thought wasn't fear for himself. It was fear for her. But India proved she was locked in too. She stood shoulder to shoulder with him, blasting at the intruders until they realized they'd picked the wrong house. That moment made it clear. When it came down to it, India had his back just as much as he had hers. But some rappers don't wait for trouble to find them. They'll handle business right out in the open. Sha'ek was never shy about pressing the issue. One time he spotted a rival after school, and instead of letting it slide, he ran up and got physical on the spot. Another time he clashed with his enemies right outside a Bronx courthouse, broad daylight, government building, people everywhere. But none of that mattered. He made it clear he'd handle business anywhere, anytime, no matter who was watching. When old friends turn into enemies, the beef cuts way deeper. That's what happened in Atlanta when Plug G fell out with his Day One bankroll fresh. The tension had been brewing for a while. One night, Plug G had left something behind at the studio and decided to swing back to grab it. problem was, Fresh was there too. Words quickly turned into confrontation, and before long it spiraled into something deadly. Atlanta was left stunned, realizing how fast loyalty can flip to lethal when money and pride get mixed up. Interview 14-10-14-54. Some rappers don't wait for things to boil over. They strike first. Pooh Shiesty showed that when a meetup in a parking lot suddenly turned sideways. He pulled up in his McLaren thinking it was just another regular day. But security footage showed how quickly things shifted. What started as a conversation got tense fast. Before his ops could even make a move, Pooh Shiesty let shots off first, reminding everyone he wasn't the one to play with. Interview 15-29-15-53. But sometimes beefs born online spill into the streets. French Montana was on IG Live, talking slick, clowning about hit records when Young Thug jumped in the convo. What started as internet flexing turned into something real. Montana even tried to take it further, posting an old pic of Thug wearing a dress, thinking he'd get the last laugh. But Thug wasn't here for games. Instead of just replying online, he pulled up to Montana's old block in person, filming himself right there. That street check made Montana fall back instantly, realizing the internet beef had turned into something way too real. And across the pond, UK drill beef showed how disrespect can turn deadly fast. Flashy M-Dub had been trading shots with rival rapper Bando Mana. But Bando crossed the line when he dissed Flashy's dead homie in a track. That kind of disrespect doesn't just disappear. One day, Flashy and his crew caught Bando lacking. They chased him down his own block and pressed him hard, making sure the whole hood knew the price of crossing that line. Interview 1804-18-16. Bando tried to act like he'd get payback, but the damage was already done. His reputation took the L, and Flashy's message was loud and clear. But nobody was making more noise than K-Flock in New York. He'd already been clashing with his ops, but things turned extreme when Oscar Hernandez, one of his rivals, got shot dead outside a Harlem butcher shop in broad daylight. To make it worse, a FaceTime video started floating around after, showing someone who looked like K-Flock flashing a strap and flexing his location. That clip went viral, adding more fire to an already out-of-control war. West Coast politics turned deadly when YG and Draco the Ruler's tension boiled over. At first it was just shots in music and industry shade. But everything came to a head at the Once Upon a Time in LA festival. Backstage, Draco got surrounded by a large group. What started with words quickly turned violent. Chaos broke out, and Draco ended up stabbed multiple times in the neck. His team later claimed it was a setup, saying certain people wanted him gone before he got too big. His mom even pointed fingers at YG's crew, though nobody was officially charged. The festival was supposed to be a celebration of LA hip-hop. Instead, it ended in tragedy. Baby mama drama can turn into all-out war. NBA Youngboy and Jada Youngin had bad blood brewing over Youngboy's ex, Jania. Instead of keeping it private, Youngboy put it all out there in his music, dropping 38K facts. Jay stayed quiet in public, but the streets were buzzing with talk of moves being made. Then, years later, Jada Youngin was caught outside his own house by 5 shooters. They lit him up, leaving him dead on the spot.
And decided to double back and grab it from the studio.
I'm finna leave, so I leave the studio, but I check my pockets. So I guess when we fell down the steps, I dropped both of my phones inside the studio. So I pulled back up to the studio.
Security cameras out here are catching a lot of guys with straps ready for whatever's about to pop off. After the shootout, 50 shell casings are scattered. Bankroll Fresh, only 28 years old, a career on the rise, lost his life in a deadly confrontation.
He fired a shot, and it happened. We pulled
dead on the spot. The footage of his body shook the rap world. No one proved Youngboy was behind it, but fans and the streets connected. The dots. Interview 22.12. Sometimes the biggest danger comes from the people closest to you. Florida's rising star Kavana Rose found that out when beef with her own management turned fatal. Tensions had been building for a while. Arguments over money and direction kept escalating. One night, things went way too far. In the middle of a heated dispute,
At first quickly started to shift when tensions began rising.
Back to the arrest report. The victim said he was in the green McLaren with Pooh Shiesty when two men got out of another vehicle with guns and approached the McLaren.
Oh, this turned into chaos in seconds. Shiesty starts shooting at his ops before they can press him.
Get out of the car, and as he was getting out, he was shot in the head. The second victim said he...
shots were fired. When the dust settled, her manager was dead. Interview 22:31. The security footage shocked everyone. One moment it looked like business talk, the next it was life or death. Home invasions during studio sessions. That's a different level of wild. Soulja Boy had the whole internet talking after his own story. He was in his home studio vibing with friends when he heard a loud crash. Instead of hiding, he grabbed the pistol handed to him and went to check. I looked through the door and saw 3-4 masked dudes running through the crib. Without hesitation, Soulja started firing. He hit one of the intruders while the rest ran off. I hopped out and started blasting. Bow, bow, bow! One of them dropped. The others just ran. Breaking into Soulja's house wasn't just a robbery attempt. It turned into a survival lesson. Sometimes, though, intimidation alone is enough. A YouTuber thought it'd be funny to prank Swifty, rolling up with hidden cameras and fake tough talk. But he picked the wrong one that day. Swifty didn't laugh. He lifted his shirt, flashed the strap, and made it crystal clear this wasn't content. It was about to turn into a whole different type of video. The prank ended fast, and the YouTuber learned the hard way. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. When rap beef gets petty, it can spill into the most random places. Even a Starbucks Uzi and Rich already had tension building online. So when Uzi spotted him in person, he wasn't about to let it slide. Instead of keeping it digital, Uzi pressed him right there in the coffee shop. Rich panicked, jumped behind the counter trying to get away, while Uzi kept applying pressure in front of everyone. What should have been a regular cafe run turned into a live rap drama in the middle of Starbucks. Interview 25.13. Clowning online is one thing, but when your ops catch you slipping in person,
Business and collect on that disrespect Bando had been spreading.
I do not even think about running. Copy, what am I doing? You not smoking? You smoking around?
the truth comes out fast. That's what happened with NLE Choppa at the airport. After he agreed with Lil Reese about NBA Youngboy's diss tracks not being that serious, Youngboy's fan base wasn't having it. One fan spotted Choppa in the terminal, ran up with the camera rolling, and things got heated. The first angle made it look like Choppa took an L, ending up on the ground. But then another angle dropped, showing Choppa throwing hands even while fighting in flip-flops and carrying a heavy backpack. Interview 2643, he later said, "It's a difference between falling throwing a punch and getting knocked out. Everything I threw connected." The full footage changed the narrative, proving he wasn't folding under pressure. But few stories show survival instincts like Gucci Mane's in 2005. The beef with Jeezy had been brewing since their collab on Icy. Then one night, 4 armed men burst into an apartment where Gucci was chilling. They tried to jump him on the spot. Instead of taking the beating, Gucci pulled his gun and started blasting. The attackers scattered, but one of them, Pookie Low, didn't make it. His body was later found near a middle school. When asked if he regretted it, Gucci was blunt. He needed to be in the ground. That's where he was supposed to be. For Gucci, it wasn't beef, it was survival. Disrespecting a legend can get you pressed anywhere, anytime. Lil Xan learned that the hard way after calling Tupac's music boring in 2018. Overnight, he became public enemy #1 for Pac's die-hard fans. A few months later, Zan was confronted at a gas station in LA. A Pac fan pressed him hard, shouting and daring him to do something. "You got a problem? Do something then, dog." Zan wasn't backing down. He flashed his strap, making it clear he wasn't scared. The fan stood his ground too, but Zan showed he was ready to grip steel if needed. Being labeled a Pac hater made Zan a target everywhere he went, and this gas station incident proved the streets weren't about to forget. Doing good deeds don't always keep the drama away. Waka Flocka learned that when a simple charity bowling event in Atlanta turned into chaos. An old associate pulled up, claiming Waka owed him money. What started as words turned into fists flying, right there in the middle of a family-friendly event. Waka's crew jumped in too, and the whole place became a brawl. Cops rushed in to break it up, but surprisingly, nobody was arrested. Waka's team made it clear. He was just there to do something positive before things went left. Concerts are supposed to be about music, but XXXXTentacion's shows often looked more like fight clubs. One night while crowd surfing, a fan swung on him out of nowhere. X didn't hesitate. He fired back with his fists, showing he wasn't scared of getting physical with his own crowd. At another performance, another bold fan tried testing him again. X handled it himself, making it clear he wasn't the one to play with. Later, he even went online and told fans straight up, "Don't touch me without respect. If you do, I'm gonna defend myself." Simple. X's message was clear. He loved his fans, but disrespect had consequences. But sometimes the craziest survival stories come outside the spotlight. Dallas rapper Jin Lee proved his toughness when 2 attackers rolled up on him in Texas. Outnumbered, he fought back hard. Reports said he was stabbed 12 times during.
The confrontation turned physical fast when the dust settled. Her manager's dead. The whole incident's caught on camera, showing how quickly it goes from business disputes to life and death situations.
During the brawl, but he refused to fold. Even bleeding out, he kept swinging until security.
Management team betrayals cut deep, but home invasions during studio sessions, that's when things really take off. Soulja Boy
finally broke it up. The fact he took a dozen stab wounds and still stood tall made him a legend in his city. And while most rappers lay low when the feds are watching, Dougie B showed he wasn't slowing down for anyone. Even while facing a RICO case, he was still outside with his DOA crew. One night, he spotted an op on the block. Instead of moving smart, Dougie rushed him immediately, locked and loaded, like he had nothing to lose. Interview 33, 35, 33, 42. Onlookers couldn't believe it. Here was a rapper already fighting serious. Federal charges still wilding in the streets, still ready to handle business no matter the consequences. Some rappers rap about war, others live it. Memphis rapper OO Goons proved that when he rolled through North Memphis in a stolen Corvette, switches on deck, ready for smoke. Him and his homie weren't out for clout, they were out for confrontation. They pulled up to a park, strapped heavy. When an op moved on him, OO didn't hesitate. He smacked dude right there on live, making it clear he wasn't just talking tough online. Even with illegal switches in play, he kept his head enough not to catch a body. But that night showed he was fully prepared for war if it came to it. Jacksonville took rap beef to another level when Youngeen, Ace, and Foolio went from diss tracks to real bloodshed. After Foolio's cousin was killed, Ace dropped Who I Smoke, mocking his dead ops in a song that went viral. Foolio clapped back with When I See You, doubling down with disrespectful name drops. But the back and forth ended in tragedy. In June 2024, Foolio was gunned down outside a Tampa Holiday Inn after his birthday party. He took 4 bullets and didn't survive. Ace responded with tracks like Game Over and Do It, cementing the fact that this beef had gone way past music. Chicago's drill scene has always been ruthless, and one incident proved how humiliation can be just as dangerous as bullets. Vaughn and the KTS crew spotted NLMB's Cairo at a McDonald's in rival territory. Instead of just pressing him, they forced him to disrespect his own dead homie right there in front of everyone. Cairo had no way out. Vaughn even punched him in the face while filming it, turning the whole thing into viral humiliation. Forcing an enemy to go against their own people showed just how far the disrespect went. But some rappers don't let early L's define their story. Pop Smoke was one of them. Before he blew up, Pop got pressed by some Bloods and even got slapped on camera. The footage went viral, with people clowning him online. For a young artist in Brooklyn drill, that kind of embarrassment could have killed his career before it started. But Pop wasn't built to fold. Years later, he spotted one of the same dudes at a 7-Eleven. This time, he flipped the script, tackling him to the ground and beating him down. The video of Pop getting his revenge became legendary in New York, proving he wasn't the same kid from that viral clip anymore. When it comes to respect, nothing hits harder than stealing a rapper's chain. Boss Smooth learned that lesson the coldest way when two guys snatched his jewelry and then flexed it all over Instagram. Instead of letting it slide, Boss Smooth made his move. On January 26, 2024, both men were caught lacking outside a Chicago school. Bullets started flying, and by the end, both were laid out. Boss didn't even try to hide it. He went on Instagram Live right after, bragging about the hit.
It's a little serious.
It's scary. Yeah, are you NLE? I asked you mad times.
Now, the hit like it was nothing. Going live after revenge? That's bold, reckless, and pure street politics. Some rappers don't just stay ready. They let the whole world watch. Alabama's Honcho Diero was on IG Live when OPPS pulled up in his neighborhood. Instead of ending the stream, he dropped his phone and started shooting right back. The wild part: when the shootout ended, he picked the phone back up and kept taunting them, daring them to spin the block again. Minutes later, they actually did. Another shootout broke out. Same live stream, same block. 2 gunfights on one video. That's not rap beef. That's insanity. And sometimes patience fuels the deadliest payback. In Chicago, a crew had been waiting for years to get even with a rival. Then one day they got the call. Their target was shopping in the Gold Coast area. Security cameras showed their cars speeding through downtown, ignoring red lights, desperate to reach him. When they found him, they didn't waste a second. They opened fire, unloading years of pent-up rage. That day proved disrespect can sit for years, but when the chance comes, the streets collect. Toronto wasn't safe from the same kind of energy. One rapper's crew caught their rival walking alone at night. They beat him down, robbed him, and filmed the whole thing. But they didn't stop there. The rapper himself jumped online, flexing the stolen items and clowning the victim, making sure everyone knew who did it. Instead of hiding, he turned it into content, proving that sometimes humiliation is just as powerful as bullets in rap beef. Some rappers don't let online disrespect slide. Lil Baby proved that when Detroit Scam, rapper TJX6 tried running plays on him, even posting Baby's driver's license online like it was a joke. That move crossed the line. When Baby's people finally caught up with TJ, all that online flexing disappeared. The kid folded quick, realizing he picked the wrong one to target. Interview 45, 39, 46, 45. But while some beefs start online, others come from fans who don't know boundaries. Rico was approached at a station by what looked like regular fans. At first, it seemed cool. Then one of them, 2K, decided to flash a gun, trying to turn a fan meet into intimidation. Rico tried to walk away, but 2K wasn't letting it go. He actually pointed the gun at him, forcing Rico to scramble to his car, while bullets flew at his back. Later, Rico explained how meeting a fan almost cost him his life. Interview 47, 22, 47, for, but sometimes fake tough guys get exposed in the worst way. During a face-off, Sharon thought he could shake battle rap vet K-Shine by flashing what looked like a strap. Instead of backing down, K-Shine smacked the fake weapon right out of his hand in front of everyone. When Sharon kept pushing, even knocking Shine's hat off, Shine rocked him straight in the face. The crowd saw the truth. Intimidation tactics mean nothing when you're dealing with someone who's really about that action. Veterans like 50 Cent know how to deal with wannabes too. NFL Doom, a SoundCloud rapper desperate for attention, ran up on 50 demanding he check out his music. Kept it calm at first, brushing him off like a seasoned pro. But when Doom kept pressing, testing his patience, 50 finally had to get physical. The lesson was clear. Respect isn't given, it's earned. And when people try to test you in the club, some rappers settle it immediately. Chicago's FBG Buddha was enjoying his night when a dude pulled up recording, mocking his money and talking reckless. Buddha wasn't about to let it slide. He dropped him right there in the club, proving that all the online talk about him being soft was cap-even family. Time can turn dangerous. Detroit's TJX6 was grocery shopping with his kid when a so-called fan spotted him. Instead of just asking for a pic, the guy went live, clowning him and calling him lacking. At first, TJ tried to brush it off, but when the dude kept pushing, TJ stood his ground. He confronted him head-on, showing he wasn't about to be disrespected, in front of his family. Sometimes being outnumbered doesn't mean you're outmatched. Mavsky got pressed by multiple ops at once, but instead of backing down, he stepped forward. Outnumbered, he still refused to show fear, calling them goofy to their faces and pushing back harder. The more they tried to flex, the more he pressed, walking right toward them until the tension broke. That moment proved some rappers don't run from the storm, they walk into it. Interview 5353, and that's the truth. From courtrooms to highways, from studios to grocery stores, these rappers showed the world they were always ready for their ops, no matter the time, place, or consequences.
Lose.
Yo, Hottie, kill him, Jay! He Jay, kill him! Kill him, he Jay! He Jay, kill him! We JK! We JK, dummy! Dummy! We JK, dummy, dogs!
When he saw him approaching. After everything went down, TJX6 goes on Insta Live to address the situation, basically admitting that he knew when it was time to back down, instead of trying to stand his ground against people who were really ready for whatever.
If a group of niggas jump you, what you gonna do, bro? What you go stand there, or you just go, what? You go run? I had to run, bro. What y'all niggas expect me to do?
The whole incident proved that Lil Baby wasn't just gonna let someone target him with personal attacks. All the tough talk disappears when they show up in person, but some rappers will slap their ops on camera just to prove a point. The UK rapper discovered that this rival wasn't just talking tough online, he was actually trying to set up a hit on him. When M24 pressed E1, the response was immediate. E1 completely folded under the pressure.
M24 and Burner for trying to line you lot at the video. I spoke to my big brother, he told me it's wrong, and I understand that. I'm sorry, I'm sincerely sorry.
M24 made sure to film the entire confrontation and would slap E1.
Do that again, I lie.